Hi, time to do a book haul. So, my name is Andrea and this channel is my reading road, and this is the first book haul I'm going to do. This is pretty much all the books I bought this year, so I'm going to haul them all. And I'm going to start with this one, because these are all in the same series. This is book number 2 to book number, 9 in the Wheel of Time. And I already had book 1, and I saw these on a second-hand bookstore really cheap, so I bought all the following books they had, which was the book 9, The Winter's Heart. And well, at least I have them for when I get to starting the series, but not until I actually finish Maleficent, because it's too much to do 2 big series at once. I'm not going to lift them up because I can't hold that many books at once. But I'm a bit hesitant if I actually want to read it or not, even if I bought all 9 books in the series. But when I grew up, this was pretty much that series that my dad reads, so I might as well try it out so I can talk to him about it. So I'm going to put that one away. And then we do this pile. And the first book here is Nala's Värld. This is about Dean Nicholson, Scotland, that decided to bicycle around the world and finds a cat on the side of the road. And this is the story about that event and what happens afterward. I found it really interesting, and it feels like it's going to be a really wholesome book. Kind of reminded me about the library cat Dewey. So I have read a book about the cat before, so I'm pretty sure I will like this as well. Then we have Hamlet. I heard this is about the family of William Shakespeare, and it's not the type of book I usually read, but I'm going to give it a shot, and if not, I'm probably going to give it to my mother so she can enjoy it. Next I have Vikingarnas Historia by Dick Harrison, the Vikings history. Then I have Strandläsning or Beach Reads by Emily Henry. This is a romance about 2 authors that switch the genre I can say, yeah, the type of book they usually write to challenge each other, and I presume they fall in love. I saw this in the grocery store and picked it up because I didn't know it had been translated to Swedish, and I wanted to read this in this summer, but it just didn't happen. I didn't have much time to read. But hopefully I get to it next summer, maybe, or in the middle of winter, because I don't hold myself to the seasons very well when it comes to books. Next we have Small Gladiator by Claire Chambers, or Small Pleasures, I believe it's called in English. Let me check. Yeah, Small Pleasures is the English title. And this is about a journalist that try to investigate a case of a virgin birth, I believe, and it's about small pleasures in life, from what I understood of it. This was on like the shelf in my bookstores, and I picked it up because I liked the cover, and it sounds mildly interesting, so I might actually like it, even if it's not my usual sort. So I'm looking forward to getting to this one. Next, we have a non-fiction, which is Vetenskapens bortglömda hjälte by Andrea Wolf. This, I guess, titles. The English title is The Invention of Nature, Alexander von Humboldt's New World. And this is non-fiction about inventor, I guess, Alexander von Humboldt. And I have no idea who this guy is, but I guess that's kind of explained by the title, since, well, the Swedish title is Science Forgotten Hero is the Swedish title on this one. So I'm looking forward to getting to know something I have no idea about before. Then we have Den första stenen by Carsten Jensen, which the first stone, I guess it's in English. I presume a Norwegian or translation. But this is about a couple of men and women that volunteers for the war in Afghanistan and finds themselves isolated in the foreign territory. So I guess it's a bit thrilling. So I have no idea what to expect from this one, but I suppose I just have to read and see. And the last book in this pile is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. Hanya Yanagihara. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. But I have no idea what this book is about, except that it is very heavy and emotional. So I want to give it a try, and I'm going to go into it as blind as possible, because sometimes that's the best part. Let's see. I'm going to put this one back. Then I have this pile, and the first ones are Factfulness by Hans Rosling. It's two, both in Swedish and English. One of these are for my mother. This one is for me. And the subtitle for this one is 10 Reasons We're Wrong About the World and Why Things Are Better Than You Think. And this is a book about statistics, I guess, and how you read them and what they show about the world and our perception of it and how it can change depending on how facts are presented. At least that's what I got from the description of this one. And this is a recommendation I got from a non-booktuber on YouTube. So I'm looking forward to getting to this one when I'm in the mood for a non-fiction. Next I have is Every Sky a Grave by Jay Posey. And I picked this one up because I wanted to read more sci-fi, and this one sounded interesting. From what I remember, it's about a woman that is sent out to quell an uprising, but then gets involved in it and starts to question if she is on the right side, which is not really an original description, but I'm looking forward to read it all the same. Then I have The Ministry of the Future by Kim Stanley Robinson, and I'm not sure what this is about. It only got blurbs on the back, but from what I can gather, it's a future sci-fi story that has with climate change to do, and from what I gather, it's a rather hopeful one, which I hope it is, because sometimes I need some hopeful future prognosis. So I picked this one up on a whim, and I hope I like it as much as I believe I will from the blurbs alone. Then I have One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, and I heard about this one on BookTube, and it's about a girl in New York that have given up on love, but meets a gorgeous girl on the train, and I believe that girl is trapped in time, so that some time elements and a sapphic romance, and I really enjoy when it's minimal sci-fi books sometimes, which it's something about time travel in this one. So I'm looking forward to see if I actually like the execution of that element in this, as well as the romance. Then I have Dunstan by Con Eagledon, and this is a historical fiction set in 10th century England, that following a man called Dunstan. And I picked this one up mostly because I want to try historical fiction, and this is one of the authors that I see a lot when it comes to historical fiction of this type, which is more war, combat, and such. So I'm going to try this one out and see if it's actually something that I might enjoy. Next I have A Court of Broken Knives by Anna Smith Spark. This is a grimdark fantasy, if I'm not mistaken. I've heard her mentioned together with you Abercrombie, that also write grimdark fantasy, and this seems to have a lot of court intrigue and conflict and betrayal and such, so I believe I'm going to be very intrigued when I get to this one. And I might actually try this one before the Blade itself, because I've tried to read Blade itself twice and not gotten into it, because I haven't been in the mood. But hopefully I like this one and can get into some grimdark fantasy. Then we have, this is Belgravia by Julian Fellowes, and I probably shouldn't have as much trouble saying that as I have, but this is from the same creator that made Downton Abbey, and I picked this one up because it was on sale, and sometimes I might be in the mood for some kind of intrigue, dramatic story from this time period when I'm in the mood. So I'm going to give this a shot. It was on sale, so why not? And I never watched Downton Abbey or read it, but my parents are a big fan, so if I like this one, I might watch or read about Downton Abbey, so I have something to talk to them about. Then we have Geography Smite, 10 kartor som förklarar världen by Tim Marshall, which is the Geography Smite, 10 maps that describe the world. And I've studied geography and I found it very fascinating how making maps, how you can change what they show, and how some small adjustments can show a completely different thing from what's reality. And you can do so much with maps, and just the coloration of maps have a significance for how well it shows what it's meant to show. And I'm looking forward to picking this one up and look up the maps that he goes over in this one. Then we have Paris Försvunna döttrar by Pam Jenoff, which the English title is The Lost Girls of Paris, and this is about a woman named Grace Haley that finds a suitcase at the Grand Central Terminal in New York, I believe. I suppose it's New York. It's Manhattan. In 1946, with photos of women that was involved with a spy network during World War II. And she gets involved in this mystery and trying to find out what happened to this woman. So I find that intriguing. A mystery is always welcome, so I'm looking forward to picking this one up. I probably won't be picking it up until around the time Eurovision is next year, and read this one for the Paris prompt for Eurovision-athon. So I'm going to put this one away until then. Then we have My History by Michelle Obama, and I don't typically read people's life stories in this way, not often. But this was in the sales bin at my grocery store, so I picked it up because I might try it and see. She seems very interesting, and from what I heard about people talking about her life, I'm a bit intrigued, so I maybe get to it if I want to try it out. Next I have Empire Ascendant, the World Breaker Saga. And I'm not going to talk about anything that's written on the back of this book because this is apparently the second book in the series. And I didn't know when I picked it up because the books are only at book 2 and book number 3. And I read the back on the number 3 and saw this is not the first book, so I picked up this one. And this wasn't the first book either, apparently. So this is going to be stuck on myself until I can afford to get the first one. But it is a World Breaker saga, so I found it very intriguing. So if you found the title interesting, look it up. Then we have the Maleficent VII by Cameron Johnston, and I saw this announced on Twitter right before it came out, and I found it intriguing. It came off to me like a dark version of Kings of the Wild by a band of warriors coming back together, in this case led by, well, their vampire necromancer, orc chief, and war god, fisted alchemist, and pirate queen. And what about that doesn't sound interesting? So I'm looking forward to reading this as soon as possible when I get the chance. Next I have is The Blacktown Thief by Christopher Bellman. I'm sorry, I have no idea how to pronounce your last name. But this one. And it's about a thief that's owed a debt for his training and try to rob people to gather the money, then robs the wrong person, which is a knight, and how their fates get, well, twinned together in this world. And I'm always down for a thief story. I got a small fondness for them, so I'm looking forward to actually reading this one. Next, I have Realm Breaker by Victoria Aviar, and I don't know anything about this one except what's on the back, which is a squire, the survivor of a failed quest, an immortal, timeless and unfathomable, an assassin, skilled and heartless, an old sorceress, holding secrets behind her teeth, and the pirate's daughter, the world's last hope. The heroes are gone, but the fights to save the world has only just begun. And this is another one that a bunch of different people come together to do something. And I'm always down for that. I'm looking forward to see where this one goes. It's just a lot, well, thicker than I thought. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be when I ordered it. And the last book I have here is actually 3 books in one. It's the 25th anniversary edition of The Sword of Shannara Theology by Terry Brooks. I haven't read any of Terry Brooks, but I heard it's a lot like Tolkien, and it's a problem for some, but I've reread Tolkien so many times, I thought I might as well get to reading Terry Pratchett's. At least it's a little bit new. So the next time I feel inclined to read Lord of the Rings, I just pick this one up instead. Ooh. And that's all the books I have for this book haul. Let's see how long it takes for me to actually read them. Well, I hope you found at least 1 or 2 that you found interesting. And I hope to see you next time. Bye!